So that shiny new game just came out, Test Drive Unlimited, Solar Crown, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game for some first impressions. Keep in mind this is not a full review, this is a quick look at the game. I played the game for about 2 hours, so I'll show some footage of the game while describing it and giving a few thoughts on it. At launch, when I played this game, there was a huge server issue. I myself had to wait over 2 hours before I could even get in and play. I then played for 2 hours and got off, and after that, I could see that the server issues were still happening with other people. This is not looking that good at launch. I also had some performance woes I want to talk about. I couldn't get a good looking game and good performance going at the same time. I have a 3080 Ti and was trying to play on 1440p. I was getting about 70 to 90 FPS with DLSS on performance and some settings turned down, but it just didn't look that good and was bothering me. So towards the end of my 2 hours, I instead turned on DLAA, turned off reflections and put shadows on low, as well as some other settings that I changed. I was getting high 50s to high 70s with that, depending on what was going on, but I much preferred that however, as it looked way better. I almost never use DLAA, but it just looks so much better in this game. You might notice two different qualities in my footage because of that. After you pick and customize your character, there's a few tutorial races with a lady, but those were laughably easy. You also get something called Alis, which is an overlay that you get in a contact for your eye, and also an AI that talks robotically. Honestly, all characters in this game seem pretty stiff and unlifelike. There's two clans it introduces you to in the beginning, the Street Clan and the Sharp Clan. I have no idea if there's more clans, and I couldn't join a clan yet because I was too low a level. One thing I noticed that was a problem for me was key bindings. I tried to change a button on my controller from shifting up to handbrake and it showed that it changed in the settings, but then in the game it's still just upshifted, so hopefully that gets fixed. After you finish the beginning, you're selected to be part of the Solar Crown. You get a room too. There's an information panel and a dressing room. You can change your outfit there. Once you leave your room, you're in an open area that you may also see other players walking around. There's not much to do in there though. There's a clothing store and a beauty salon, but you had to be level 5 I think for that. I made it to level 12 later on, but I never went back to that building. It just wasn't needed. So I have no idea what the clothing store or beauty salon is like. Then you pick a car and you have 3 choices to begin with. You're able to test drive them all, which I did, and I chose the Mustang as my choice. Now that you have a car, you pull up the map and you drive to a location that has a race available. You only have a few races unlocked until you hit a certain level and then you unlock a few more and so on. The races are online. You can sit and wait for other players to join or start right away and play against the bots. I just started races right away. In the race menu is where you can change your driving mode or make a custom one, which is basically tuning your car sorta, but you need to be level 15 for that. And then at levels 15, 25, and 45 you can change your tire compound. At level 12 I didn't get to try that yet. Also in the race menu you can turn off and on any of the game's assists or change the levels of them. In all racing games that I play, I always turn off the assists, so I'm happy that I found those settings. I just kept on the visual braking lines. The races are fine. The car handling is better than I thought that it would be. There's a good weighty feel to it. There's a few different race modes that I did, like the traditional finish in first, or I did one where you need to finish before the time runs out, or another where the person who's in the lead gets more points as opposed to those behind them. That one was called Domination. There's a few radio stations that you can listen to, and you can turn on your turn signals, hazards, or turn on and off your headlights. You can also roll down your window and turn on your windshield wipers too. The car damage in this game is very minimal. I drove off a cliff and only had a few dents and a cracked window. That's about it. There's also off-road racing, but again, I didn't get to that point yet. I wasn't high enough level. You can upgrade your cars at the workshop, which is an area that you need to drive to. Also, this is another public area, so you see other people in there customizing their cars too. There's performance upgrades here as well as visual. Also, even though I had other vehicles in my garage, I couldn't actually use them or customize them. You have to be a certain level for that. Most of the cars that I had were unlocked at level 15 or 20 it looked like. Basically, you'll have a lot of things locked until you reach certain levels, but there is a few things that unlock before that. This game looks pretty good visually. There's a lot of neon lights going on. However, the world does feel a little bit empty to me. Even the NPC characters around the area don't talk, they just stand there. Luckily, the racing aspect itself feels pretty good. I only stayed in the top part of the map as that's where the races I had unlocked were at. Also, back to the clan things for a moment, you can actually visit the HQ of those two clans, and I did visit one of them, even though at the time I was too low a level to actually join. It's pretty cool looking in there, and that's where my FPS dropped to 50 as well. You can only walk around in buildings and not out in the actual world. There's something called Solar Pass and Competition under the Solar Crown tab in the menus. It says Solar Pass is available next season, so I'm unsure what that is exactly. I'm assuming it's some sort of season pass like most games have with unlocks in it. Also next to Solar Pass is Competition, and in there it shows different ranks that you can get: bronze, gold, diamond, and so on. The season doesn't start for a couple of weeks, so we'll see about that then. Then there's the clan stuff, as well as some clan related battles going on. I played for 2 hours and I haven't even unlocked that much yet, so you'll need to play even longer and be a higher level for all of those things, like clans, off-road races, driving other vehicles, car customizations, and so on. At first, I kinda didn't like this game, but towards the end when I got off, that was changing to liking it. The performance is rough, the world feels a little empty, the NPCs are bland, but the racing itself isn't bad at all. The more races I did and the more customizations that I did, the more I started to like this game. I don't know yet how I feel about this game. I need to progress further and unlock more things to really try it out and then form an opinion, but for now I'll just say I think I'm starting to like it, though that's my personal opinion. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you on the next one.